All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Nicole, and I'm excited to introduce you. Oh, now we're live. Okay, perfect. Good afternoon. My name is Matt Nicole. I'm excited to introduce you to today's event, the Gray Matter Experience, an entrepreneurship conversation with Jahmal Cole. The goal of today is to introduce you to the Gray Matter Experience and new perspectives on the possibilities of community empowerment through entrepreneurship. We'll be joined by Jahmal Cole, founder of My Hood, My Block, My City, for an engaging interview on the story of entrepreneurship and the possibility and blooming reality of using startups as a vehicle for social justice. Before we begin, I'd like to quickly highlight the several raffles we are offering throughout Chicago Startup Week. Make sure you attend as many events as possible, and we'll be on the lookout just because you may have a chance to win Amazon gift cards, enter media raffles, win Gamer Jibe contests, and even brand new AirPods. If you collect enough stars or attend our fireside chat on Friday as well, you could have a chance to win those AirPods as well. I'm now going to hand it over to Brittany Robbins, founder of the Gray Matter Experience.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. I am really excited about this conversation we're going to get into today, and hope that it inspires you, hope that it sort of ends your week on a great note, and that it's a great addition to your startup week. I'm Brittany Robbins. I'm the founder and CEO of the Gray Matter Experience, and I'm here to share just a bit more about the work that we do and who we are. Gray Matter is a 5-year-old nonprofit. We will be 5 on March 21st, so this is an anniversary year for us. And over the past 5 years, the work that we've done is really to unlock the self-determining power of Black youth and strengthen their ties to community through real-world experience and entrepreneurship. And I know that's a mouthful, but essentially what we're trying to do is really unlock the access, resources, social capital, and networks needed for Black students to really understand the entrepreneurial ecosystem. As we know, entrepreneurship continues to be a lifeblood. It has always been a lifeblood of Black and brown communities. And what we want to do is make sure that our communities are well equipped to sit within that ecosystem and really thrive. And so we want to make sure that our businesses have accurate education, knowledge, resources, as well as the capital needed to make economic impact. And our hope is by doing this work on the front end with high school students and young adults that we're able to get folks in better practices early and really start to create a pipeline of talent that eventually will showcase that narrative and really change the narrative in our communities. And so over the past 5 years, we've gone from one pilot program that we started in 2016, where we worked with 15 students across the city of Chicago, to now having over 7 programs that we run and having served over 600 students across the country. Our programs range from teaching students how to build strong ideas, to validating said ideas, to actually launching the businesses. And through that, we've launched 8 fully incorporated teen-run companies that are still alive and kicking today, ranging from lipstick companies to organic do-it-yourself makeup line, as well as a digital book that allows students to navigate the college process a bit easier. This summer, we'll be launching a program called Hustle Hacks that will allow students the opportunity who are already running businesses to put business sense around the work that they're doing. This program is our response to what we saw happen during COVID-19 with Black businesses in general. And so really making sure that our businesses are well equipped by way of accounting best practices, strategic planning, building your personal board of directors. We have programs where we work with CPS and go inside of the classroom and teach entrepreneurship, as well as programs where we license our curriculum to help train other organizations to teach entrepreneurship to their students. So this is just a snippet of the work that we've done over the past 5 years. We're really excited for the next 5 and really excited to have the support of the Chicago startup community, as well as the Chicago Black business community as well, rooting for us and pushing us along. So I hope you all enjoy this evening. I hope you will find a way to get involved with our work, be it volunteering, be it donating, be it corporate sponsorships or company visits. There are plenty of ways that we have made ourselves accessible so that we can use the full breadth and depth of the city in which we're in. So with that said, I'm going to pass it along to our Associate Board President, Jonathan McGee.
Thank you so much, Brittany. And just again, would like to welcome everyone to this event. I'm so excited to represent the Gray Matter Experience Associate Board and wanted to spend some time talking about, how we came up with the idea for the Associate Board. Given this is the 5th year anniversary for the Gray Matter Experience, and given Brittany is expanding the organization, we thought that this would be an opportune time to really launch a board of young professionals of color to really make sure that we're driving dollars to this organization to help expand their impact. And that's what our plan is, and our goal is to do just that. What COVID-19 did allow for the Gray Matter Experience to do is expand their reach virtually, nationally. And so that's going to require dollars and funding. And so the primary goal of the Associate Board is to lead fundraising efforts on behalf of the organization and help support and capacity building. We know that Black businesses a lot of the times, struggle with capacity building and struggle with access to capital. And so the Associate Board will serve as that primary vehicle for the Gray Matter Experience. And so I'm excited to lead this work with 20 other young professionals, and just shout out to Adrian and Liz on the Associate Board for helping to coordinate this with Chicago Startup Week. I also would be remiss not to acknowledge the fact that, we really would love for you all to support, our efforts. And as Brittany said, there's so many ways for us to engage, whether it's as a volunteer or as, a donor. And so with that being said, would love for you all to make a donation today, just, in support of our 5th year anniversary.
Jonathan?
Yes.
You do not have your camera on right now. Do you mind turning it on?
Let's see. I have turned it on. It's unlocked. I'm not sure why it's not showing. Apologies for that. It was just working. Well, I don't want to hold up the event. Apologies for the camera, everyone. Not sure why it's not coming on. But did just want to kind of finish my pitch here and turn it back over to the primary speakers of the night. If you would like to donate to the Gray Matter Experience, please visit our website at Gray Matter Experience. That's GARYMATTER Experience, EXPERINENCE.com/donate. And again, that's graymatterexperience.com/donate. $1, $10, $20. All of it will contribute to us building that ecosystem of support for future Black entrepreneurs, not just here in Chicago, but across the nation. I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing our 2 primary speakers tonight. The first being Giovanni, who is a Gray Matter Experience alum and can really speak to the programming that Gray Matter provides, and she's a current intern as well. But then also, too, want to really announce our primary speaker for tonight, Jahmal Cole. Many of you all who know Jahmal knows that he has really led a lot of important work in communities across Chicago through his nonprofit called My Block, My Hood, My City, a social enterprise that really works on helping to provide youth with access and exposure to different parts of Chicago that helps them in their edification to learning more about their city and helping to contribute to their neighborhood. So with that, I will turn it over to Giovanni and Jahmal. And apologies again for the camera. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for that warm intro, Jonathan. As he is Giovanni Morton. I am an alum of the TGME bootcamp program, and I am a current intern there. I do design and project management. I'll start by explaining my experience with Gray Matter and how it transitions into what I do today. So my senior year of high school, I was introduced to Gray Matter through the in-school programming. As Brittany mentioned earlier, we were taught, it was an entrepreneurship course, and it led me to apply for their boot camp program. I was accepted into the second cohort, and in that cohort, we were taught how to create businesses within our teams by other Black entrepreneurs. My team had the opportunity to pitch our idea. We actually won third place in the pitch competition, and we were all able to use the money from those pitch competitions to either accelerate and actually start the business or use it as a scholarship for college. I took the college route, so now I am a junior at Howard University. I will be graduating in December, a semester early, with my BBA in marketing, and I will definitely say that Gray Matter set a solid foundation for that. Coming into Howard, I was in the honors business program. They were very impressed with the program that I was a part of within high school. I've been called team MVP of my business orientation team, working with other companies and the marketing campaigns or business plans they ask us to come up with in class. In terms of curricular in school, nothing is totally new. Really set that foundation for, my accounting class, my marketing class, my finance and management class, and everything. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I want to give Jahmal the opportunity to introduce himself, and then we'll get started with the interview.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Jahmal Cole. I'm the founder, I'm the CEO of My Block, My Hood, My City. I've done it all as a startup. Obviously, I started selling books on the corner of State Street in front of Foot Locker on Adams and State. That was 6 years ago. Thank you to anybody that ever stopped and bought a book of mine on that corner. I really need those books for that $22 so I could buy my family food. It's been a journey these last 6-7 years, but I've learned a lot about being a follower. I've learned a lot about leadership. I've learned a lot about having faith. If you want to have a startup in Chicago, you have to have a lot of faith because this road is so narrow, it's hard to turn around sometimes. So I'm glad to be here. Shout out to Brittany, shout out to everybody here having me. I've loved seeing y'all grind over the years. Wow. I mean, y'all in different, cities, 7 programs. I love those, the hoodies y'all had on the notebooks. I still love those. And I love to see your journey as well. So thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to answering any questions you guys have, but just getting to know y'all. So thank you.
And without further ado, let's get started. So Jahmal, when I was in the TGME program, I learned about the value of social impact and creating a social enterprise. So what is your view on the importance of those?
Yeah, I feel like, we all want to do things social. So if the way you think is in terms of social progress, they name you progressive. I think we're all progressive. But I also think that you don't want to wait for just manna to fall from the skies of big city government because, it's hard for a lot of the times the government doesn't value the work of social impact organizations. It's hard to get a federal grant because there's so much red tape. It's hard to get a grant. There's so much red tape. I got so used to getting turned down for grants. The first sentence, oh, thank you, I didn't get that grant. I already knew it right away. So how do I help people when, I ain't got no money? And so it's good to have a social impact because we started selling t-shirts and hoodies, and with the profits from the t-shirts and hoodies, I can not only pay myself, feed myself, and my family, but I could also take the money and I could take teenagers on educational field trips. So I think anybody that wants to, anybody who wants to do good in the world, that's a good lesson. Like, you want to do good, but instead of spending time racking your brain on how to get those grants, start doing the work however you can, and then show people, right? Show them what you've done. And then people always want to help people that are already helping themselves. It's easier to say, look at what I'm doing, than saying invest in what I'm doing. So that's why I think it's having a social impact is so smart.
Thank you. That's actually a great leeway into my next question. So what skills or knowledge did you gain or build on while in college that has a big impact on the way you actually operate My Hood, My Block, My City?
Cities messed up, schools messed up, the senators messed up, messed up. That's what I really learned in college. no excuses. The highest level of maturity is taking full responsibility for do more than expected. That's making that's investment in your future. You know, please that we said say ooh, more so if you work in the good.
Looks like Jamal disconnected for a bit. Let's see if Jamal, did you end up leaving the event by accident, or Jamal, if you want to put in the chat what exactly is happening, try to get you back on here.
He probably had some tech issues and probably is rebooting and coming back in.
Got it. For everyone now, what we'll do is we'll take 1 or 2 minutes to try to get Jamal back, and then hopefully we get him back here as soon as possible. I'm back now. See if his audio sounds better now.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Hello? You guys
Yep, there we go.
Okay. Sorry about that, but don't want to slow everything down. I'm embarrassed, but look, what I learned in college is like what just happened, right? You want things to go perfect. Sometimes it doesn't, but look, it ain't about being perfect. It's about just never giving up, man. Like for real, it's about like I never played college basketball and I wanted to go to the NBA. What I learned from playing college basketball was that my coach wasn't teaching me how to hoop. He wasn't teaching me to change my jump shot. He wanted me to change my philosophy and stop making so many excuses. So that's one of the lessons that I share with y'all from college.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. And then being a part of the TGME program myself and attending at HBCU, it really opened my eyes to opportunities that I have as an entrepreneur from those who look like me. So who or what would you say have done the same for you?
Yeah, I would say like, Fubu, the owner, Damon John, reading his book called, it was The Power of Broke, that helped me out a lot. Also reading, Fubu, I read, that's not Fubu, but Mark Echo, he wrote a book called Unlabeled. And that, I mean, if you could save 5 years by reading a book. If you want to know how to like be an entrepreneur, if you want to know how to invest, if you want to be a therapist, whatever, people wrote books about how to do it, and some people don't read them because they too busy on TikTok, I guess, right? So it's like you could save 5 years of time by reading a book, and you could save more time by actually having a mentor. So that's kind of like those would be some lessons that I would share with people.
Gotcha. Thanks for that. I'll definitely look into those books. TikTok has a few gems as well sometimes. But anyways, so
I don't know how to use it. That's why I'm doing shit.
you should learn. You should learn. It's pretty valuable for business owners. But so me personally, I have an 18 credit course load. I have 2 part-time jobs. I do freelancing, and I'm working on starting my own business. And I know that you have a tremendous amount on your plate as well. So how would you say that you navigate that work-life balance and avoid burnout?
Yeah, it's I'm learning to do the Calm app, and being consistent with that is a good way to start your day. I think that the Calm app should be offered in a lot of high schools and a lot of colleges, for free, to be honest with you. But I feel like just working out and standing guard at the door of my thoughts and watching what I take in and watch, because it's always something happening. You hear about this happening, you hear about that. It's not really about what happens, it's what you do about it. And one thing that helps me too is setting goals, like daily goals, so I can I don't try to go to sleep without knowing I'm doing the next day. So therefore I can finish my day before it even starts. So when you go through your day and you're checking off your list of goals, you feel better about yourself. You know what I mean? And that builds confidence. When you don't neglect your daily disciplines, it builds confidence. That's where it comes from. So I would say setting out my daily goals, my weekly goals, my monthly goals, and then checking those off because it makes you feel good. That's how you have a lot of stamina. So.
Gotcha. I could definitely relate to always having that to-do list to, have things you need to do the next day and achieve, and then just, keeping track of that and having that discipline, like you said. So now I know everyone goes through trial and errors when starting their businesses. So what are some avoidable mistakes you can touch on?
Yeah, I would just say, the best experience is the best way to learn is from the firing line of experience, right? And so you can, you might be saying, oh man, somebody stole my idea, or somebody got the same name as me, or somebody doing the same. Listen, it needs to be 1,000 of yous. Don't focus so much on somebody stealing your idea, because you are you, right? You're gonna whatever you do is whatever's unique about you. That's what's gonna your passion is what's gonna drive it. It's not it's not a logo. It's not a name, right? And so don't spend a lot of time worrying about who else has stole your idea. Just focus on you. Especially when it comes to doing social impact. We need more people taking teenagers on field trips. We need more people, helping with our block clubs. So that'd be number one. Also, I would say support people before you need help. So if you have to build relationships and build those relationships before you need something. If Gray Matter's throwing something, I want to go support before I even have an ask. I want to go support and I want to network before you need something. If you want to build a relationship with a politician, go to their monthly meetings before you need something, just so they get eyes on you. So, and that's how you build fruitful relationships. And then I guess the final one I would do is as a leader, man, you need to hire people that are smart, right? You need to figure out what you do best. If you arouse enthusiasm best, if you motivate people best, that's your lane, right? You need to hire somebody that is just as good as graphics as you are with arousing enthusiasm of people. You need to hire somebody that's just as good at building a website as you are with, arousing enthusiasm, whatever you do. You can't be doing the accounting, the graphics, the website development, taking the teenagers. You have to hire people or surround yourself with people that are passionate. And then what I've learned is that if you do what you love to do, you organically start to build relationships with people that will help you.
Definitely. And that's an important issue you bring up that a lot of entrepreneurs have is trying to be, the one man doing everything and not, delegating or hiring. So in terms of that, when you started and grew your team, what were some green and red flags that indicated whether they would be a good fit or not?
Yeah, I think that you find people good, right? You don't hire them. They're good before they meet you, because if you have too much training, that probably means you have the wrong people, right? I think that I've been blessed to find good people, and I think that again, if you do what you love to do, you'll organically build relationships that'll help you. I think that it'd be smart to invest or find somebody that's hired before, and say, hey, this is where I lean on my board of directors. We need to find somebody that has experience in HR and that knows how to interview people, that knows how to sift through these applications. Because again, that's their strength. I mean, that's what they're gifted at, interviewing people and finding, who's going to be the best fit to work with your vision. And so that might not be something that you have the skills at. So just humble yourself down and find somebody that has that kind of experience. And as far as you can, when it comes to youth development, especially, you want to make sure that that you're hiring people that are passionate about it, man. Because if they, this work is, like I said, the road is so narrow, you can't turn around sometimes. So you want to make sure you're finding people that are walking in their purpose. And you could tell when somebody's walking in their purpose because they light up a room, or they just, they do more than expected, work more hours than expected. So.
Definitely. Thank you for that. And speaking of youth and development, I want to take you back a little bit. So, times are changing, as we see with COVID and everything, and more high school students are choosing different paths than, the traditional 4-year college. So if you were sent back to high school, what do you think you would have done differently?
Wow, that's a great question. What would I have done differently in high school? Well, I didn't like it was, man, I didn't have Facebook, I didn't have TikTok, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have, the internet, right? I didn't have an email address, I didn't have so many things. So I'm so like impressed with like, my 10-year-old daughter who has like, she's got all these, modes of communication. She's always on TikTok, she's always on these video games, and she wants to develop apps. I think what I would have done differently is I would have probably not took myself so serious. I would have learned that, hey, like at this point in your life, you're supposed to be trying out new stuff. You're supposed to be, it's not the end of the world if you don't get accepted to Howard University. Is that what your shirt says? Shout out to Howard. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I would have said, there's more, you can see success in other forms besides going to the NBA or being a rapper. Like, because growing up, that's all anybody I knew wanted to go. I'm going to the league, or I'm about to rap, right? And if you didn't become one of those things, you were just a failure. And so I would have told myself that I see success out there as in different forms, and also to stop making excuses. Those are the things I would have done differently.
Gotcha. Thank you. And how do you actively keep an audience engaged in your cause? And do you think sort of that support that social enterprises have can apply to other types of businesses?
Yeah, well, keeping your audience actively engaged. I think success is what you attract, right? It's not what you pursue, and you attract it by being attractive. You got to work harder on yourself than your job. So you got to work hard. Like if you're reading, if you're writing, if you're traveling, ideas aren't going to just hit you while you stand in a crib. You got to go outside and get involved. And that's, I know how I see a niche right there, right? And so success is what you attract by being, it's not what you pursue. I would also say that constant contact helps. As far as like making sure, like little things, like making sure when you host a presentation or something, you jot down the email addresses so you can stay in contact with these people. Make sure that when you collect those email addresses, you're putting them in constant contact, and you're emailing out once a week, and your emails aren't too lengthy. They have some graphics that were created by some people that actually liked it. Video is a new letter, so making sure you're using, videos. Make sure you're optimizing your videos for Instagram, for Facebook, for TikTok, for all these different, make sure your banners are straight. Like sometimes I look at YouTube banners, and that's not the same as a Facebook banner. That's not the same as an Instagram banner. That's not the same as a Twitter banner. You have to be able to design, have a graphic designer design those things for you, making sure your logo is crisp and consistent amongst all mediums, right? You can't have different logos on different pages because you only got 1 second, half a second to, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I don't want to be here. You want your website to be usable. You want your social media pages to be usable, and people already looking to like go somewhere else anyway. So make sure you don't give them a reason. And does it translate to other businesses? Yeah, for sure, man. For sure, because again, like the discipline it takes to build a social impact organization, you're never gonna forget. Like when you're a startup, like you remember what it was like to stand on them corners and sell them books. You remember what it was like to make those sales pitches. You remember what it was like to wake up at 4 a.m. You ain't never gonna forget that. So the more people that you hire, the more people that come on board, that's all good. But those lessons that you learn through the struggle, that's what it's like riding a bike. You ain't never gonna forget how to do it.
And then speaking on other types of businesses, what responsibility do you think businesses have to the communities that they operate in or serve?
I feel like a ton, right? I mean, we want to, small businesses in the community have to support the block club associations. They have to support the community groups. They have to support the high schools. I live in Chatham, and a lot of schools sometimes in the summer don't have enough. They don't got air conditioning, so they need water. And the local businesses in Chatham are the people that actually support the block clubs. If you can't print off newsletters because you don't have the money, the local businesses are the people that pay to help you support those newsletters for block clubs. And so, yeah, man, I just feel like as a young entrepreneur, it was a local grocery stores that let me set up a table while people were coming and let me sell my books right there. And they wouldn't charge me anything, just Jamal, do you, man, do you, right? And so I felt like those kind of things were pivotal in my that you couldn't walk into Walmart and say, hey, I want to set up a table, right? You can't really do that. But when you walk into Chatham Foods, or you might walk into the mom and pop store, they're going to let you, if they have that relationship, they're going to let you get your hustle on, basically.
I think that's very important, having businesses within the community, support those entrepreneurs. And it could be as little as, like you said, letting you come in, set up shop for a second. So I kind of want to pivot the conversation a little bit. So to take the values from your social endeavors to run for Congress, so I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is like just taking care of people no matter what. I'm an activist. I'm always going to be an activist. I'm about that action. And so I'm not trying to go into Congress trying to impress people. I want to more so express, like they got to feel what I'm talking about in DC. And, I want to carry on the tradition of people that have paved the way for me to even do it. But also things that I care about. I've been changing things at the micro level. You'll always hear me talk about there's 15 currency exchanges and no banks, or there's why is a currency exchange charging us 3% on our $100, and then they got the bulletproof glass up when they robbing me, right? That's a policy problem, right? There's so much predatory lending in the community. Well, how come there's more babies dying on the south side of Chicago than anywhere else in the country? That's a policy problem, man. That's lead in the pipes. That's environmental justice. That's the Green New Deal, right? We need to make sure that the federal government is drastically reducing greenhouse gas emissions in the country. That's a policy issue, right? When I think about all the mental health issues going on in the community, when you see a kid rapping and shaking his hands real loud and talking loud in the morning, he in pain. Right? You need a therapist, and there's not a lot of therapy. That's a policy problem. And so I want to go to DC to talk about, I'm progressive, but when you live on the south side of Chicago and you tired of your voice not being heard, you have to be aggressive. So I feel like I'm aggressively progressive, and I'm going to go to DC with the same kind of vigor, the same kind of determination, the same kind of passion that I have as an activist, because they got to feel what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. And I love to hear it. And additionally, in your run for Congress, how do you plan to capture and engage an audience outside of, the Black community while sticking to your, true identity and who you identify with?
Just exploring the same way I build my block, my hood, my city. One of the things I'm doing is like going to different communities or different villages or towns every week and blogging about it. So last week I went an hour away to New Lenox. It's a southern suburb in the 1st District. And I got to meet people. My only goal was to explore, let people know that I care about them, learn from them. And New Lenox is an interesting place. Yesterday I went to Blue Island, which is another, it's another village on the south side, 127th and Western. And there's a lot of antique shops there that I got things out of. I also went to T&G's Gyros to taste their food and support a local business. I went to a local bowling alley who has like a 15-lane old school bowling alley that's been there since the 70s. And they had all types of clubs in there. I went to a homeless shelter to help volunteer a little bit. So the way I'm gonna do it is like getting out to these different places, like 50 different places to visit, and just getting to know people. Hi, my name is Jahmal. I run a nonprofit in Chicago. I'm running for U.S. Congress in the 1st District. I don't live too far from you. I live in Chatham. I just try to make it all seem comfortable. So that's kind of my thing, is to step outside my comfort zone and explore.
Thank you so much. I do not have any further questions, but if you have anything you want to sort of wrap up with, feel free.
Yeah, I'm just talk to all the entrepreneurs that are out there, man. I just want to say, like, when I was on the corner selling my books, my self-published books, on a good day, I would sell 2 books out of 100. On a great day, I would sell 3 books out of 100, right? It don't matter how good a day I had, 97 people still said no. Like 97, every day I wanted to give up. Every day people made me feel embarrassed. Every day I ain't have no money. I'm talking about when it was cold outside. The shadows downtown is really freezing selling those books. People was laughing. The people in Foot Locker was laughing at me every day, right? And so I just want to tell y'all, like, who knows why them 97 people didn't buy them books? Like, don't take the class on why they wasn't. Like, don't worry. When you graduate from high school and college, some people gonna hate on you. Who knows? Who knows? Take the easy route out and just say that, right? But I'm telling you, once I realized that they wasn't really buying the books to read them, they was buying your passion, man. They was expressed. Quit trying to impress people. Expressed. They're buying that. I want to feel like that. That's what they buying, right? And then once I figured that out, I said, I'm gonna start working my tail off to make sure I stand guard at the door of my thoughts. Exercise every day so you can feel good. And if you feel good, you're going to do good. And that's just how I just want to share that with you guys. So.
Thank you so much, Jahmal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great conversation.
Cool.
We have a comment or a question in the chat for Jahmal, and it's, who are Jahmal's greatest political role models? Any policy leaders locally, nationally you aspire to be like, or new policy role you plan to carve out yourself?
Yeah, I mean, Alderman Sawyer in the 6th Ward, you know, he's the first politician I ever met, and he allowed me to come in his office to help with marketing when I was just a kid. And so to him, number one, I would say, of course, you know, President Obama, seeing him at the Bud Billiken parade in 2004, him and Michelle sitting on the back of a Mercedes and waved to people. I was one of the people that he waved at me. That inspired me. And then reading his books and seeing how he became the president. I'm inspired by community activists, you know, and that aren't politicians, you know. But that's and when I get into office, you know, I'm going to be a freshman legislator, so it's going to be a lot that I'm going to have to learn. So I'm going to go in like a freshman on the basketball team and listening and learning. And then once I understand more about how I can create change, that's what I'm going to do. But this is not going to be like overnight, right? I'm going to have to learn a lot over the next couple years.
You just starting to talk about starting off, like that was another question I actually had. When you first started your initiative, you talked a lot about your story and getting there, but was there something you wish you knew when you first started that you can kind of let us know? It could be like some type of technical thing in trying to create more programs, or just anything really. What is something you wish you knew when you first started?
Good question. This is a great question. I wish I would have learned how to listen earlier. Like, you know, just I wish I'd have learned how to listen. You think you know everything, right? Why are you talking down on me? I'm just joking. I wish that I was like, I wish that I knew how to build relationships with partner organizations better, right? Because I don't want you taking my idea. Like, I wasted a lot of time thinking about that. That's a waste of time. Don't waste your time doing that. Partner with people, right? Learn from people, and share with people, because you actually get more from giving. You know what I mean? The Bible says you reap what you sow. You reap a lot more. You like triple what you sow. So figuring out how to get some sowing done is that's what I would learn earlier. I wish I'd learned that earlier.
Actually, really great advice. And that I also had was you being such like a driving factor in this whole initiative. What is something? Is there something that you felt differently knowing that you're now a role model to these students? You're now someone like a prominent figure in this whole initiative. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you can't take it lightly. You know, that's why you have to study. That's why you have to stay, you know, clean. That's why you have to stay running. Because, you know, when you stop at the gas station and a mom says, "Talk to my little son on a cell phone," just text message him. You know, he's going down the wrong path. You know, like that's what I live for, right? And so that's important to me. That's worth more than money to me, and I value that. And so I that's what I think about when I get tired. People that's looking up to me. And I hold that responsibility is something I didn't ask for. I wanted to be a rapper. Like I wish I was, but God didn't give me the bars, right? Actually, I do got bars. I got bars. Y'all don't know about that. I'm just joking. This is what I do for my life. My passion is my profession. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing to hear. Harshini, you actually asked the question. I was also wondering, how can more of us get involved in your organization?
Yeah, you can go to my website, formyblock.org, and sign up to volunteer. You know, we work with a lot of block clubs. We hang holiday lights on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive every holiday season. We decorate over 500 homes for free. We expose teenagers to different opportunities. We're always looking to work with different activists. And so if you want to volunteer, you know, I like to think of us as the on-ramp to getting involved in a city. So just go to our website, formyblock.org, or everything on social media is My Block, My Hood, My City.
Cool. Yeah. If anyone has any more questions, definitely put them in the chat. We still have a lot of time to ask Jahmal any questions. So go ahead if you have any. Giovanni, if you have any more to add too, go ahead.
I have a question to pose. So I guess being a college student and in the process of starting my own business, or for others that are out there starting their own business, what would you say are 3 key, I'll say, business skills that we should have to set a good foundation?
Key business what?
Skills.
Oh, yeah. I would just say, just first of all, ideas are powerful weapons and tools that can change the world. And you don't get ideas by just sitting around, like traveling. And, you know, if you want to go to those seminars, man, because that's where the ideas hit you in the head. Oh, you know, like number one. And number two, like if you want to be a designer or something like that, or you want to be a writer, read. If you want to design things, go inside of Nike and start touching things. Oh, how I like this, but I don't like this. Or I would do, like, that's what people be doing, right? Is that they actually go inside, they look at these graphics from Greece from 2,000 years ago, and they say, oh, this kind of looks, I would tweak it this way. And that's how it happens. And also I would say that, I told you earlier about doing more than expected. Like, don't just take a product shot and put it out and hope people gonna buy it. Go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy some sandpaper, then put your hat on top of that. And then when people see it, they're like, ooh, it's a little more than expected. I'm gonna share that, or I'm gonna hate on it. Either way, you're gonna get the attention, right? So do more than expected. And I would also say, I told you earlier about if you plant spinach today, 6 weeks from now, you're not gonna get pumpkins. That's not how it works. If you reap what you sow. So if you don't like the conditions of the spinach that comes up 6 weeks from now, you got to look at the person that planted it. And it's the same thing when it comes to your grades, man. If you don't like the conditions of your grades come June, who's to blame come report card time? It's the person in the mirror. Now, sometimes you could do everything right and it'll still rain on all your crops, right? Sometimes you planted all year, harvested everything right, and it hailed on your crops and you don't get nothing. But guess what? Life works like that sometimes. Sometimes it works like that. So just saying, man, hey, I'm gonna. Sometimes you lose, and that's a part of it. I didn't invent the rules. I'm just saying this is how it works on this spinning planet. So you need to figure out how to make it through the hard times. How do I make it through the winners? And there's all types of winners in life, man. There's personal winners. You know, you grow up and you don't have no heat. You got to heat the house to the oven, right? There's social winners. We look at what happened with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd in the summer. That's a social winner. You look at financial winners. You know, you might go to a foreclosure, you might lose some. That's winter time. So you got to learn how to make it through your winners in life, and because you can't control the weather, right? You can't control that kind of stuff, but you can control you. And so that's what I would say is, like, you can control you and just understand that's how life works.
Thank you. It seems like we got a few more questions in the chat. What are some specific initiatives we should be focusing on to support underserved communities and businesses around the Chicagoland area? Great question.
Yeah, one of the, I just wrote a book recently and the title was 15 Words That I Live By. And it's what's something simple that I can do that'll have a positive impact on my block. That's what's something simple that I can do that'll have a positive impact on my block. And I'm telling you, you don't have to have a master's degree to make a difference. You don't have to have a law degree to listen, right? Just ask yourself, what's something simple you can do? If you work in IT, can you help somebody build a website that runs a social impact? If you're a lawyer, can you do an expungement clinic in the hood? If you a skateboarder, can you bring a trash bag to the skate park and pick up the beer bottles? What's something simple you can do, right? And what I've learned is that if you do the simple things, that's how you develop muscle to take on bigger challenges. Like you don't have the muscles right now to take on a bigger challenges, but when you start with the simple things, you start to develop confidence and muscle, and people start to say, hey, I want to help. I want to get involved, man. Just saying hello to somebody, it can be that simple. I talked to a lady on 64th and Vernon, and she had a lot of guys on the block that were scaring other people. And you know what she started doing? Every day saying hello. Hey, hello. 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 Do you know, after a couple of months, they was like Now they talking, what's going on? She's inviting them to the backyard for barbecues. Now they letting her know what's going to go. Like, what's something simple you can do to change everything? What could you make yourself do today? It'll change that. That gives you the power. What could you make yourself do? And that's what I would share with you. So.
Amazing advice. It's kind of like, it's a great mindset, like building yourself up to like be ready to take more action and create change. That's like so simple, but I feel like a lot of people can do that, like starting now. That's amazing. I have another question here. Where do you think the balance is between holding the powers that be accountable to supporting our communities versus playing the game to influence change from inside those rooms? The powers to be. I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
I understand the question. Yeah, like I said, I think that things ain't never gonna change until you change. Like things don't get better until you get better. That's just the bottom line. You could say, how are things gonna be this summer in the city? Well, kind of like they was last summer, because it's not gonna get better until you get better. That's when it changes, man. Things change when you change, and so I think that however you want to make the change, you just have to change, and then have something that I think separates us is discipline. Man, if you got discipline, add that to like some enthusiasm. Man, I'm telling you, like that's people gonna see you and be like, man, you just make it look so easy, but they're not gonna see you waking up at 4 a.m. They're not gonna see you with that thing called discipline. So, man, I would write down my goals, and I would recognize that disappointments aren't reserved for you wherever you live. Like disappointments ain't reserved for you on 79th Street. It rains on people in the suburbs too, bro. You know what I mean? And so just this, we get more wet because we don't have like the umbrellas and stuff like that. But you ain't never gonna be dry if you want to stay in the trenches. I'm in the trenches. I'm in the field. I'm at war. All that, man. Come on, man. I would just say, if you want things to change, and the rooms don't change. Like they ain't that much smarter than you. The rooms they're not. Policies ain't that hard. They try to make it seem like there's all these no, bro. Like if you wake up and you read, you have the aptitude, right? If you can come up out of the city of Chicago, you can make it anywhere in the world. So just believe that, and have the discipline it takes to study. And my last clue I'll drop is that if you're an entrepreneur, wake up early, because there's less traffic on the road to creativity in the morning. Ain't nobody up, and so you can. That's where all the waves happen. That's a jewel I drop. I would think about it that way. So.
Got it. Next question is, what is one of the most rewarding parts of? Do you have a favorite memory of your organization's services?
Yeah, the most rewarding thing that I've seen is that younger activists work with me right now, and I remember being that age and just who I love supporting their ideas. And whatever they got going on, I love that because nobody. I wish I had that kind of support, but also is because they're the future. They're the wave of change. And another thing I love is just like supporting small businesses. There's a lot of small businesses that were affected by the looting and everything, or just affected by this pandemic. And so we're giving out small. We raised $1 million last year in one day. And we supported over 250 businesses. Now we really raised about 2 million. So this year we're giving out another 1 million to small businesses that have been impacted by the pandemic. And so I love to be able to take care of people no matter what. I love that. I love to. I also love growing a team and watching my team flourish. Listening to the words people say in our business meeting now. Everybody's got this high level talk, synergy opportunities, and thrive points. I don't want to get scrape my knees going down. I'm like, bro, what are y'all talking about? But I like to be able to remain myself, but also be so proud of something I built. I love that.
I think the most rewarding part for you is like your team and the people around you. That's amazing. Knowing that you're kind of creating this impact on other people, that's must be really rewarding. All right, so one more question. I think we have time for one more. How can we continue to capitalize on the momentum of recent social movements such as BLM and others to continue to push for change specific to our neighborhoods?
I would say that whatever you're doing in your block and your neighborhood is adding influence to those movements, right? You're a part of that. Like it's not independent of you. You're adding influence to it. So keep on waking up early. I would say keep on believing in yourself. Keep on reading. keep on asking questions and finding mentors like Brittany, finding mentors like Jonathan, and just and obviously, you, Giovanni, like you're awesome. And I feel like you guys, like, listen, it's not rocket science. And if the mountain was smooth, nobody could climb it. So just know it's going to be a struggle. Know that, man, just stand guard at the door of your thoughts, man. Just stand guard. Cause when you get, like, I'm gonna drop one more jewel on y'all. When you the closer you get to success, the more tribulations start popping up in the world, right? And stuff start happening, bills start coming due, people start hating, or something happens to you, like, it tries to get in, and after so much experience of that, you start to notice the tribulations more so than you remember the success. So when the tribulations start to pop up, you're like, oh Lord, I've seen this before. And that's how you know you're close. That's how you know you're close. And so I would just say that, just know that when you're trying to do something good out there in the world, it's gonna be rocky. The more rocky you get, don't give up. Stay the course. That's when you're gonna get close. That's what I say. So.
I just want to hop in real quick. Thank you. You're not just dropping gems. You're dropping like diamonds, literal diamonds.
Hey, man, that's what I'm here for. So thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alrighty. I think we actually a little bit more time to do one more question. This would be really quick. Any plans to take your org to other cities around the country to teach people these same community-focused practices?
Oh yeah, that's a great question for sure. When you expand to different places, you want to do it with integrity and making sure that, you can't really build from an unsolid foundation. So right now we have 17 team members. I think we're getting to the place where we want to expand to different cities. I want to take the program to Langa Township in South Africa, because I feel like, poverty in Chicago is like upper class there, right? Like we like, this ain't poverty. Like this is relative poverty. It's not absolute. But the kids in Cape Town have never seen the ocean too. Right? They've never been downtown either. People in Red Hook projects in Brooklyn, they've never been to Manhattan either, right? Jay-Z never went to Manhattan until he was in third grade. And so I think kids need access to opportunities all around the world. And it's a block and a hood everywhere. It's a city everywhere. So I think I can see this in the Olympics. I can see them rocking it like, oh, my block, my hood, my city. So for sure I want to do it. But I want to make sure, I'm working with people that are smarter than me to help me build a strategy to make it out there. Yep.
Cool. That's actually good to hear you're thinking about expanding. I'm excited to see where it could go.
Thank you.
Sweet. So I'm actually going to bring up Jonathan to do some closing remarks. So Jonathan, I'm about to put you up now. And hopefully you'll be able to see him. Oh no, seems like Jonathan is not able to go up. Well, I'll just end up doing a closing for this event.
I am here.
There we go. Yes.
So apologies, everyone. I finally got my camera to work here. Tech difficulties, that's what we have in a COVID environment. Number one, just want to say thank you so much, Jahmal, for so many insights and diamonds, as Giovanni shared. It was very, very insightful, and I'm so excited to see what happens in your congressional race and all the work that you're doing. And just again, want to underscore and emphasize, Gray Matter and organizations like My Block, My Hood, My City only work when they have support. And so just want to continue to urge and encourage you all to support both organizations. The Gray Matter experience, again, is helping to cultivate entrepreneurs like Giovanni. And as you all can see, she has a promising future. So again, please visit our website and sign up for our listserv and our newsletter. And again, just for our 5th year anniversary, which is on the 21st, we would appreciate a donation just so that we can continue this work for another 5 years or 50 years. So again, that's the Gray Matter Experience .org/donate, .com/donate. And we hope to see you all in the future at future events. And we hope that you all sign up as volunteers. So thank you so much, Matt. Thank you so much, Giovanni. Thank you so much, Jahmal. And thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great evening.
Sweet. Thank you again so much to the Gray Matter Experience for putting on this event. I hear a small echo. There we go. Again, thank you experience for this event. Their mission is so important to the city of Chicago. And thank you again to Jahmal for joining us today. We are honored to be able to showcase what you guys are doing. So also, thank you everyone for attending our event. We would love to have you share your feedback of the event on your Instagram stories or other social media platforms. Please do so by tagging at Chicago Startup Week to let us know what you thought. And lastly, before we end, we're giving away our next raffle prize from the audience. And the winner is Antonio Gonzalez. He'll be walking away with a $15 Amazon gift card. Congratulations. And we will follow up with you with more details on that. So now I'd like to actually encourage the audience to head over to our next event, Founders Night Out, hosted by the Founder Institute. Founder Night Out is a fun social event where you can meet entrepreneurs, investors, service providers, and other members of the startup community. You can also share your business ideas and aspirations with like-minded peers. All you need to do is a web browser to attend, I believe. And if you want to head over there, all you need to do, I'm going to throw the link into the chat right now. And yeah, you guys could join in there. But yeah, drop it right now. So sweet. Thank you guys.